Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Latasha Givens. We begin tonight with GBI investigating 3 officer-involved shootings, all happening within the last 24 hours. One of them was fatal. 36-year-old Rashawn Johnson died early this morning after an exchange with a Snellville police officer during a traffic stop. 11 Alive's Teresa Bowles has been working to gather information from detectives. She joins us live with Snellville with the latest. Good evening, Teresa.
Good evening, Latasha. Snellville police say that when they pulled Johnson over, he had a gun to his head. And now what led up to that shooting remains under investigation. A spokesperson for Snellville police tells 11 Alive an officer pulled the 36-year-old over on Highway 78 at Fountain Drive in Snellville because his headlights weren't on. Police say Johnson did not follow their orders to roll down his window or get out of the vehicle. That's when he was placed under arrest. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said Johnson was asking to speak to his mother. An officer opened the door of his vehicle and saw a weapon. Johnson was commanded to drop the gun. Here's what Snellville Police Criminal Investigations Detective Jeff Manley said happened next.
It was confirmed that he had his own weapon and he pointed his own weapon at his own head. And I'm not clear as to whether our officers killed him in the exchange of gunfire or if he shot himself. That is under investigation by the GBI.
The GBI says that next, this case will be passed over to the county's district attorney. These officers were placed on administrative leave, according to Manley, but no officers were injured in this shooting.
Thank you, Teresa, for that live report. The GBI is also investigating a shooting involving a Roswell police officer. Investigators say 34-year-old Martin Ponce became unruly and pointed a gun at a group of people inside a restaurant. This happening around 1 this morning at Maisie's Sports Bar and Grill. When officers arrived, they found Ponce armed and confronted him by the front door of the bar. Police told Ponce to drop his gun, but they say he then pointed it at them. Roswell officers then shot Ponce. As you can imagine, this was a terrifying situation for customers. We spoke to a man who was inside the bar at the time who says he heard those gunshots ring out.
There's a crowd running towards the end of the bar. We heard somebody had a gun, and next thing we know, everyone's running towards the exit. So we hit the exit and we fled across the street, came back, told the police the story and everything we could. But yeah, it was definitely a scary situation.
At this hour, we're told Ponce remains in critical condition. And the third case GBI is investigating started as a high-speed chase that ended with a shooting involving an officer in Harelson County. GBI says it started close to Birmingham, Alabama on I-20 eastbound before crossing into Georgia. Now, this is around 2 this morning. Deputies say during the chase, the car spun out and the driver fired shots towards the deputies. That's when deputies returned fire, hitting the driver. The suspect was identified as 29-year-old Marcus Eady. Tonight, Eady is in critical condition. GBI is investigating this case.